Hi citizens, this is Citizen Bob and let's start with 2026. Let's kick off the year with a bang. Hold on tight, this video is sponsored. Unbelievable, Bob sponsored. The folks at iWorTech contacted me and asked me to make a video to test and review their software beameyetracker on Starcitizen. I asked them, "Are you serious?" They said yes. Then I asked, "Are you sure?" After the fifth yes, I finally felt comfortable accepting the offer. Let's go step by step and start from the beginning, because I honestly have no idea how to make a sponsored video. But don't tell the guys at iWare or they might change their minds. I think I should tell you what beameyetracker is, how to install it for Starcitizen and how it works, and then my very humble opinion about how to use it. So let's start with what it is. beameyetracker is the first and only software capable of turning a simple webcam into an eye and head tracker, significantly increasing immersion in many of your favorite games. If, like me, when you heard that the screen follows your gaze, you imagined something like this, well, that's not how it works. It's actually much better. Anyway, in a time when everyone is talking about Starcitizen VR, and you're like me and you have a headset that not exactly state of the art, you might consider beameyetracker as an alternative to VR. Actually, since I want a bit more freedom of movement when I play Starcitizen, this tracker could actually be the best choice for me. Also because, and this is no small detail, it costs peanuts. Well, not literally of course, but it costs less than $30. Compared to VR or other trackers, we are on another planet. Yes, because beside those $30 you don't really need anything else apart from a decent webcam. Okay, maybe a slightly more recent model than this one, but nothing fancy is required. For this test, I'll use the simple built-in laptop webcam, 30 FPS, 640 480, and we'll see how it works. On the beameyetracker website, you'll also find some good webcam recommendation or instruction on how to turn your phone into a webcam. In a moment we'll see it properly in action and I'll share my thoughts, but first, a real quick word on installation. And when I say quick, I mean quick because besides being incredibly cheap, it's also easy to install. Bob-proof, I'd say. So download and install the software. You'll find it by following the link in the video description, the one with my name on it so I can become rich and famous. While you're on the website, go to More Extensions and follow the link for OpenTrack. It's the only other thing we'll need. Download and install it. When you launch beameyetracker, a window will appear in the bottom right corner of the screen, and all you have to do is activate the gaming extension, and boom, our wonderful eyes are already being tracked by these two expressionless gray balls. Calibration is quick and easy, you just have to look where you click. First the center, then the four corners, and you're good to go. There are tons of settings and customization options, including using a second dedicated webcam, if you happen to have that particular kind of fetish, adjusting the sensitivity of all head and eye movements, setting the webcam tilt depending on where it's positioned, and much more to truly make the experience your own. Now we need to install OpenTrack. Again, if you're capable of taking off with a ship in Starcitizen, then you're capable of installing this software. Once it's done, you'll find yourself facing an octopus, but there's nothing strange about that. We create a dedicated profile for Starcitizen, I'll call mine Starcitizen Bob. We go into options and we need to configure at least one key, the one to recenter the view. The others are optional, your call. Press start and now we are ready to launch the game. Too easy. Once the game is running, go to options, Then to the tab with the ever-growing name comes VoIP, VR and head tracking. Here too you just need to do two simple steps. Head tracking general source must be set to TrackIR. You'll see there are also plenty of settings here that you can evaluate on your own, since they really depend on your playstyle. Finally, make sure VoIP is disabled. Sorry guys, for a while no. But we will survive, right? And that's it. We are ready to take off and fly into space with a whole new level of immersion. I have to be honest and say that, at least for me, and you know I'm not exactly a top tier player, it took a little while to get used to these new tracker dynamics. So I crashed a couple of times simply because I wasn't looking where I was going. Software fault? I don't think so. My fault? More likely. After a very short time though, the experience becomes intriguing, and I can say that maneuvers like landings, one of my many Achilles heels, have become easier thanks to the simple ability to look around more freely. In particular, my beautiful clipper, tall like a centuries-old Canadian pine, becomes easier to maneuver in tight spaces. The yellow circle you see on the screen is of course removable, but I wanted to show you the software in action. If it seems a bit crazy, it's because I'm constantly moving and because the active reticle tends to shake a bit too much. I'm sure that with some tweaking in the settings that can be reduced or eliminated altogether. But honestly, it's not a real problem because when you play normally without that circle visible, you don't notice the frantic movement at all and the experience is smooth. After playing with it for a bit, you also start to notice lots of small tweaks that could be made to improve the experience. Some of these adjustments can be made directly in-game, especially by enabling or disabling the tracker depending on the situation. For example, I mainly use this once I'm seated in the cockpit. I've also tried it on foot while walking around, and in cob situation, it's still quite pleasant, but I still need to figure out whether it's useful or not in FPS combat scenarios. Here too I could test it endlessly, but you always have to keep in mind that I'm basically terrible, so I wouldn't be a very meaningful test. You're better off just trying the free trial and seeing firsthand how it works for you. Be careful though about the side effects of intense in-game situation, because in real life this might happen.
Hey Dad, I would love to. Mom, Dad is acting weird again.
Trying it in ship combat scenarios, on the other hand, I have to say I felt quite comfortable, even though once again I'm not exactly an amazing fighter, but the software didn't get in my way. If anything, it probably helped me be just a tiny bit better. In conclusion, my advice is to try it. The trial is free and more than enough to give you a solid idea of how it works in Starcitizen or in one of the many other games compatible with this little gem. Scroll down to the description, grab the link and go. If you like it, you know it won't cost you a fortune to keep it forever. So if you're a Bob like me, if you don't feel like emptying your wallet more than you already do on this game, if you want to try a more immersive gaming experience, why not give beameyetracker a shot? Alright citizens, it's entirely possible that this little gem will come back as a star in other videos with more tests, maybe to see if it can perform a miracle and turn me into a mediocre FPS player in Starcitizen as well. That's all for today. If you got at least half a laugh out of it, and remember that I put on my head a pink cardboard helmet, maybe leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and you know, the usual stuff. Bye citizens, and see you next time.